this sitting in the actuality of each other's beingness. Let's just first really take another breath. And just allow the usual habitual mind patterns to recede. And have the knowing of being, or awareness, be the locus of operation and experiencing. And then we start metabolizing our experience, not through the habitual psychological patterns with its mass-creating repercussions, but just everything that you are. So one of the beautiful things about this practice is that this is not a practice of transcendence. Maybe a little, and we could talk about it for hours, but it's a practice of transformation, metabolizing through the healing light of awareness. And that's here right now. So please notice this openness. Just feel the openness. You can have your eyes closed or open, it doesn't matter. Just notice that openness. So there's, and that openness is not the promise of maybe some future more profound awakening. No, that openness right now is source, or in some technical terms, the Dharmakaya, or my favorite, indeed, the guru within. It's not like, oh, is that it? No, this is the practice also of confidence. Just take your seat with confidence, and also strength. It's like, oh, the master-slave relationship starts arising easily. Right? That's not what this is about. Fierce compassion too, confidence. Take your seat with confidence. And then we all start operating and communicating directly from this source. So, and then over time, okay, I'm introducing time a little anyway. There is of course an evolution. No evolution in timeless awareness. It's always that's it. It's there in its itness, in its profound fullness. But there's an unveiling of our natural state. On that note, please bless us that we may come to recognize the nature of mind, the natural state, right now. And if you have a lot of mind patterns going, just look in between two thoughts for a moment. Just openness. And notice your stream of being. And then over time, timeless loving awareness takes over the operations and the expressions of the usual mind. All expressions and actions in the world that come from the habitual patterns are not even our patterns, right? The patterns of our parents and ancestors and the field of beings in the world right now, that often leads to disaster. Just right here, notice the purity. Okay, so purity is like, doesn't feel so pure because maybe there's some veiling of nervousness, residual shimmer of the busy week or a difficult life at this point. We acknowledge all of that. So allow awareness. Let's take a breath. Let the mouth open, release. There's the ah sound already shimmering. And have awareness descend along the cheekbones. And just allow it to rest in the heart. It's a bit of a tricky guiding because, of course, awareness in the world is already arising from the heart. The loving Vajra heart essence. So feel into your heart right now. Place your awareness in your heart. And there, as soon as you place it there and you hold it there lovingly, the brick walls that we sometimes build around it start to become illusory and dissolve. And what do we usually find in the heart is the wish for happiness, the wish for happiness. Or the sweet desire for happiness, which of course matures over time from our practice or praxis in our lives and being with others of similar intended hearts. The wish for happiness of all beings. That's the maturation, wish for happiness of all beings. Then notice that we realize that all our desires that we ever had in our life and all our wishes, when we distill them down to their most pure state, they're all the wish for beingness. And then again, another little shift of maturation, the wish for beingness for all beings, so they may all realize that their own hearts are a place of refuge and the origin of source, of Dharmakaya, of the guru within, the streaming into the world. So it becomes a vantage point shift, not so confined behind the eyes, in the head, in the heart, and then resonating through the whole soma, the whole body. I said soma because that's maybe a little bit more not so confined by your anatomy. Just feel your beingness like little awakeful flames shimmering like around around your body, like a local sphere of awareness. So this is the direct path, the immediate arising of the Buddha within. And then maybe at times there is the maturation and the realization and the unveiling. And maybe at first we start mindfulness 101. I'm not my thoughts, feelings, emotions, and perceptions. I'm that which knows them. That's like mindfulness right there, world peace already right there. So, can you do that right now? Make that shift into freedom, moving all that movement of the mind with its tendency for negative bias from a subject to an object, moving the difficult mind states from a subject to an object. So now, not without movement, maybe not without pain, but free from it. I'm not a subject to it. It's arising. It's arising in my field of being. And then when I become aware that I'm aware, because then we can maybe identify the constancy. Awareness doesn't arise. It just, we open to it. So the openness, we open to it. And then we notice the never changing, always right with usness of timeless, boundless loving awareness. Always right there. Ever accessible with the shiftless shift. Just with the slightest little wish. Pah, there it is. And then let's take a breath again. Releasing. Then indeed boundless. So saturate all the space around. with the knowing of being. And another little unveiling. No out there-ness, not me over here and you over there. Then this boundless space, all events and appearances, thoughts and perceptions, and the knowing, so the boundless space, all objects and appearance, and the knowing are one boundless, loving, unified field. And then the last one, usually there is still some remnant of a meditator or a center, a locus, or a body. And then we learn to dissolve that too. And come to realize that even our body, in its illusoriness, is just a light body, just a shimmer, insubstantial, yet so vivid. Then we feel our bodies, the body of the body of breath and energy in the world. So let's take a breath again. Natural energy, the body of breath and energy as the sounding of wisdom and compassion when it comes straight from source, straight from beingfulness. And then the body of source as source, feel that openness. That's it, right now. Boundless wholeness as the guru within us. Don't doubt it. So only awareness can know awareness. When we allow, when we bring our thought patterns in, these things quickly start sounding metaphysical. So don't pay attention to anything, any words or letters. Just metabolize some of these words that are not mine. They just collected from me paying attention in some of these circles. And then the body of the Sangha, evolving from me to we, to everyone, to all beings. And here it is. Here we are together. So right now, let's take another breath. And now flow out, extend to everyone in the room, in this room, right? This is our pod today, our cozy pod of loving wakefulness. Just reach out to everyone from the actuality of being. Every little Buddha on their seat, so unique in their expression in the world. But that knowing of being, which is not, that openness, that knowing of source, is completely uniform. And that recognition is experienced exactly the same by everyone in this circle. What a sweet family that is, the recognition of timeless, loving awareness, resonating brighter because 78 awarenesses are better than one. That's why we're together. Again, we are facilitating each other's awakening. Notice that realm of pure potentiality prior to any movement of mind, but mind with a little m. Saint Augustine sometimes called that realm of pure potentiality the great deep. You are that. And every time a thought starts moving, keep your field perspective not so confined and tight, decontracted. Just let it move. Don't hold the mind too tight. That's sometimes a mistake we made, and we end up sitting in the blissy cosmic hot tub. It's also the practice again of metabolization, letting things come and go. So if a thought comes, let it arise. But keep the vantage point shift being the field of boundless, timeless awareness. Again, when we form in awareness, things don't sound so metaphysical, like timeless. It's pretty simply identified. Notice that knowing, that awareness, that shining of awareness does not fluctuate in time. It's constant and uniform. It appears to flicker because it's the movement that kind of covers the light for a moment. So this is direct knowing. Direct knowing. You just know it. You just know it. And it can't be unknown. So now I'm going to read some words of Padmasambhava, the guru or the lama that brought Sochen to Tibet, like 1400 years ago. So stay in awareness. That means you're not going to try to hold on to any of the words. Let his beautiful words just resonate you awake. And he says, you are not thinking or focus on past experience. Do not live in the past and do not think about the future. Do not live in the future. No repetitious remembering and no obsessional futuring. Do not live in the future. Such framing takes you out of primordial awareness, and sometimes within awareness, the past may manifest. And even at times, the sense of the future may manifest, like being in your mind. And that's what I just mentioned, right? Something may arise in the field of loving, timeless awareness, and it needed to arise for the purpose of shining the healing light upon it, so it may heal and dissolve and return to its origin, its purity, on behalf of all beings. because being in your habitual about what about me mind takes you out of potential space, this beautiful state of potentiality, out of the spontaneous stream of being. Here, Padmasambhava continues. Remain within the sense of this innate awareness and experience the arising of everything and anything within this awareness, this field. Remain in this place, this immediacy of awareness, and experience not only the arising of experience, but the dissolving of experience. Become an expert and a master of arising and dissolving, appearing and disappearing of phenomena. Become a master of the arising of emotion and any feeling, and the arising of sensations, any sensation, the arising of memory, the arising of fantasy, the arising of conceptualization. And the dissolving of sensations, the dissolving of memories, the dissolving of conceptualization, the dissolving of sensations, the dissolving of fantasy, and the dissolving of affective states. And every time you hear dissolving, you may as well hear healing. And then he goes on, living in the ongoing continuity of spacious awareness. To be pointed out this capacity and to have this capacity is great fortune. So the only proper response is gratitude. Let's take a breath right there. Let it all dissolve and heal. If you're a bit distracted or a lot of distracted, that's just a sign of the beautiful creativity of your mind. Just take a breath and return to the immediacy of the beautiful brightness of being. It's perfectly okay. Not doing the walk of shame back into presence, but realizing that actually in that return I'm building some muscle on non-distraction. What we are trying to stabilize more and more is that we can have that bidirectional perspective. I know words are always so dual. Being being able to particularize, being very precise and loving in the world, and have craftsmanship and virtuosity and vocabulary arise directly from source. So having the vast expanse as a backdrop to our expression in the world. So I would like to do a little practice where you keep this perspective, stay vast, and I'll bring in an object to rest awareness on, and we're going to do that with our body. So can you stabilize without any doing, just with desire, the pure desire, the purity of desire, not desire in its frowned upon context in these Buddhist circles, just sweet desire for the continuity of boundless, timeless awareness, like the vast expanse, like a bubble inside out in the ocean, in all directions, saturating the space with the knowing of being. And then at the center of it, rest your awareness on the body as a whole, what it feels like to be you, the body also in its resonance, in its expressions of your feelings and emotions and historic thought patterns, like hanging there in space. Notice that if you feel into that soma, that body hanging in space, that maybe you can't even find the boundary between your behind and the seat. Awareness, a boundless expanse, extending effortlessly in all directions, vast, infinite, and open. like a limitless field of luminous knowing. And within, rest the awareness on the body, within this unbounded vastness. Notice how the body arises, not as a dense or solid object, but as something insubstantial yet vividly alive. Let's take a breath together. Dissolve any thoughts that come in about it. Just have the body hang there in space, as if it were a constellation of starlight. Each point a radiant expression woven together, yet suspended in the infinite expanse. Radiant light arising effortlessly within the vast expanse of awareness. It is insubstantial, yet luminous and vividly occurring. A body of light. As always, the middle way, not contracting into the visualization, not being too diffuse in the vast expanse, simultaneous mind. I am the boundlessness of loving being while being meticulous and precise in the world as the Buddha's expression. As this luminous, insubstantial body of light is held in awareness, you might naturally sense the subtle energy currents flowing through it. The 84,000 streams of life force energy. Just like this. Center channel maybe, other channels, all appearing as an intricate, radiant expression of the vast expanse, spiraling through the body's luminous form. Let's take a breath. Maybe just rest awareness on the body and notice it just being insubstantial and hanging in space. Just hold the view of this clear light body without interruption within this subtle awareness. Our bodies being the magical display of a awakened, timeless awareness. The interplay of winds, energy channels, and chakras. Patterns of light in space. Let's take a breath together again. And let go of all visualizations. Just back to just being the presence of spacious, luminous, boundless, loving awareness. spacious because there's enough room for all possible universes to arise within it. Luminous because it shines the light of knowing on all things and experiences those things as beauty, and shines the light of knowing on all beings and experiences all beings as love, and shines the light of knowing directly upon itself. There it is. That's it. Yeah, that recognition of the natural state. The aha. Can't be unseen. Now it has been recognized. The knowing will arise, life after life, death after death, life after life. How beautiful is that? Relax, relax, little yogi. Everything has been accomplished. From this perspective, there is nothing we can't handle. Why do we know this now? I don't know. Great fortune, great fortune, great fortune. Thank you. When we commit to living from this beingness, we are committing to live from love and goodness. And this goodness seeps into our being, into our body, into this starlight constellation, into our bones. It's the simplicity of finally being the being in human being. Stay in boundless awareness. I'm going to read one more thing by Longchenpa. He called it his concluding remarks. Longchenpa says, "When I think about the present evil times, I feel intensely discouraged. Our lives provide us with no real leisure, for we waste them on the path of distraction. There is no possibility of fathoming all that is to be known, and no end to conceptual elaboration. Therefore, day and night, pursue spiritual practice that focuses on the heart essence of being. You will die before completing all you wish to do in this life. One thing leads to another, like the waves of the ocean. come to thoroughly appreciate that nothing you undertake will be useful when you die. From today on, practice to attain enlightenment, which brings liberation. Where will you end up? What will happen? What can you know? What can you know? Who can help you? How can you develop the confidence to be content and fearless in this life? Therefore, while you have some self-determination, it's time to strive for the lasting state of liberation. Remember that your body, wealth, family, friends, and experiences in this life will all be left behind. As you go forth alone with no one to accompany you, it is time to seek refuge and protection to be with you then. It's time to seek refuge and protection to be with you then. Things will not always remain as they are now. When the Lord of Death comes for you, throwing heaven and earth into turmoil, what will you do? At that moment, in whom or what will you place your hopes? Therefore, put the sacred Dharma in practice now. Whether or not you rely on the wise and powerful, whether or not yourself are learned, the hour of death approaches. Rouse the force of virtue. Meditate on what is genuinely meaningful mind itself, the heart essence of being. Then the happiness and joy of higher realms will be ensured. You will be welcomed by victorious ones to the precious palace of noble liberation. You will experience the ultimate state of supreme bliss, forever unchanging, and the absolute infinite wealth of enlightenment, sublime, self-knowing, timeless awareness. I, a beggar lacking any spiritual qualities, exhort you with these words. This is my heart advice for your benefit. Keep in mind. So there's some darkness in these words and concern, but we already established it right here in our sit together. So let all concern about it go. A good death starts right now. It has happened. It can't be unseen. Enlightenment is here. Just keep returning to the Buddha within. It's right here, really.